Benway Television.
Hello and welcome to the program. The program is Gospel Live. Yeah! On Benway Television, your favorite gospel music show where we bring you all your faves from the gospel music scene and we catch up. My name is Susie Achin and it is always my absolute delight to welcome you on this very beautiful show. Well, today is not an exception as we have a very special guest in the house. When we come back, I will be unveiling who is in the studios. Don't move a muscle. We'll be right back.
Live on Benway Television.
All right, you're welcome back from that break. If you are just joining us, pull up a chair, relax, and sit back because you're going to have a super duper jolly ride. Like I said earlier, the program is Gospel Live on Benway Television. And today, we have a very interesting special guest. He is a prolific and a sensational gospel music minister. With a music journey spanning over 10 decades, he has a unique style of music that seems like a fusion of Afrobeats, rap, and then a touch of spoken word. I'm sure he's going to explain that to us in the course of the show. He has recorded 2 albums, fresh out of Adulam, Acts of the Apostles, 3 EPs. After all these years, I Like This Girl and Change the World. He also has 4 singles, Mobile Shrine, Deep Friends, Good People, and his latest single, Enough, that has been making big waves since it dropped. He is the convener of the Day 3 Experience with the debut edition that held last year, May 2023, and the second edition to come this year, May 2024. Apart from music, he likes to be identified as a student of life. He is a writer, he's a public speaker, and a content creator. Ladies and gentlemen, drum rolls. Day 3, aka Isaac Achin. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Wow. Are you okay?
Yeah, fine.
Are you shy?
Well, I'm good.
Okay, all right. First of all, how are you doing?
Great. I'm glad to be here.
Happy birthday, because we saw on your social media handles that you celebrate your birthday. You have like 2 birthdays.
Yeah,
You celebrate your
exactly.
birthday during Easter.
Yeah.
So that is going to have to make me ask about the name Day 3. That's like, I never heard anyone with the name. We want to know, like, how did you come about that name? How was it inspired? Was it you? Was it something? Tell us about the name Day 3.
All right. Okay. All right. So like the name goes, Day 3 is significant because of the resurrection. So from history we know that Jesus died on the Friday, he stayed in the grave through to the Saturday, and rose on Sunday. So he made exactly 3 days from when he died to when he resurrected. And the Bible says that the summary of our Christian faith is hinged upon the reality that Jesus rose from the grave on the 3rd day. So that's where I got that name from. And actually, it wasn't my idea. It wasn't actually my idea. I used to have a leader at the time. I used to serve at a youth group.
Okay.
And I needed a new
Like
name.
tell us about the group.
Yes, why? Youth with a purpose.
Okay,
Because
alright.
I always love to talk about them.
Okay.
I say them, us, because I'm still part of them.
Okay.
Yeah, so I used to be in a team, the rap team, and I used to have a name back there that was not really nice for a Christian. Yes,
Can we know that name, or is it so unchristian I cannot go on?
I used to be called Rebel.
Anyway,
It was not the best name for my mother.
why?
Yeah, I understand.
For your
In my
mother.
mind, I was rebelling against the world system, that kind of thing.
But I think the thing about that name is
Yeah.
the name has a lot of explanation.
Exactly, and you see, you
So,
don't have all the time in the world to
yes.
explain to everybody. So, if I one of those days, they were trying to reach out to me and they called my mom and asked my mom to release my rebels. It was a disaster. So I thought of changing
Oh
the
my
name.
God.
And I had older people advising me that that name was too sounded terrorist for it.
Yeah.
I was looking for a new name.
Okay.
And I got options from my leader then, who is All Night.
Okay.
Dr. All Night at the moment.
All right.
And that was the suggestion. He gave me a couple of names.
Okay.
And that was one of the best names I found there. And it made more sense to me, so.
So like you usually say like J3, the point of difference is the point of difference the surname of your nickname.
That's a good way to say. I think I'll adopt this.
Hey, O'Shea.
It's,
Really?
Well, the point of difference is sort of like a moniker for the tree itself. So,
Okay.
the idea of Jesus' resurrection
Yeah.
is the point where everything changed.
Yeah.
So when you say the tree, the POD is like,
Yeah.
it's sort of
The
like
resurrection
metaphor
is
now.
actually
So
the
for me
point of
now, I am now
difference.
the point of difference.
Ah, woo, 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 woo. Yeah, you actually are. And I just feel like thinking about what you're saying. I'm like, oh, isn't it really significant that this is we're having this interview
during
the Easter celebration?
Exactly.
So it's really beautiful.
Exactly.
Well, there's so many things to ask you. I hope that I can contain all the things that I have to say. But first of all, let us begin from the beginning. Tell us about your delving into music, because I mean, we like to believe that you're quite young. So, but it seems like you're old in this music thing to an extent.
I
So,
mean, young Asians.
yeah, young. Oh, yes, young Asian. That's what you like to be identified as, a young Asian. True, I agree. So, tell us about being young and Asian at the same time as regards music. How did this whole music thing begin?
All right. Really long story short, but to cut it short, I think that I was born into an already musically inclined family, not because my parents were musicians per se, but we're always church people, and church people are synonymous with
Music, church music, church music.
So,
Yeah.
growing up in that kind of environment, I had to be in the choir. I started playing the drums, for instance, when I was somewhere around 8, 9. In fact, I started to play the
Okay.
keyboard younger than when I started to play the drums.
Okay.
I used to have a music teacher at the time, Colin Williams. I like to call his name.
Shout out to Colin Williams.
So he was one who first. I think the first time I ever got really interested in music was when I saw him play in church, and he took me in.
Play the keyboard.
Yes, he played the keyboard, and he took me in and started to teach me. I used to go to his house every Sunday. And
At
he taught
what
me-
age?
I think I should be like 5 or
Okay.
6.
Wow.
I was pretty young. And going from there, I started to learn the drums. I started to learn the bass guitar. I got into like teenagers choir. So it just happened organically till when I was now like a choir boy, and I didn't have any interest per se. Let's say other genres of music like rap,
Yeah.
and Afrobeats that came later. But I got to join YWAP after this whole season. So it's broken into like 3 seasons. There was a season
Okay.
where I was just learning instruments, a season where I became like a choir boy, singing the choir.
Yeah.
Because I was a teenager at this point. There was now a season where I joined YWAP as a proper youth, 18 and above.
Yeah.
So those 3 seasons combined, and that would be like a lot of years. If I put that, it's a
Yeah.
lot of years. Especially because I started early, so that makes it look like I've spent a lot of time doing
Exactly.
this thing.
So
But because I
when you
started
start
quite
early, it looks like you're okay. Yeah.
Exactly. So you beat the time in a lot of ways. So if you put the time, it's as though growing. I was really growing with the music.
Yeah. So there was no space, the kind of space that people have before they start.
Exactly.
You really said.
So it just happened. It just kept happening. I found myself in the studio at some point. I started to record. I started to dance at some point. I started to rap. I started to sing it back again.
So you once a dancer?
Yes, so I was a break dancer.
Oh wow! Oh my days. Okay, when you're talking about the 3 seasons, we're talking about the fact that you started early, which is why you seem like you know a lot, but then you're still young. I remember during talking about you at the intro after all these years. I think you have an album.
Yeah, it's actually
Is it about this?
To a large extent, is related because that particular project is a collaborative work between myself, Ismo, and All Night. So we came together to tell kind of like a poetic, story of our journey from way back through to now, how God has helped us. So it quite relates to a very large extent.
Okay, so we've talked about how you started doing music in the first place. Now tell us about now taking music seriously, because it's one thing. Some people, I know so many people that tell you, I started from the choir, I was singing, but now I'm not singing again. How did you come to the point where, or at what point did you say,
It's something else.
I should take this serious, something I want to do?
All right. I think that this is a really great question because, especially for me, because if you think about the story I just told,
Yeah.
everything just had it was just everything was falling upon itself. So
Right.
I could have really just kept flowing without like a proper definition of what I was about. But thinking about it, I would say that everything started to look a little more serious when I joined YWAP because at that time I became an adult. So I was not doing something that I needed to do for church. At the time I was drumming, I had to drum for church, I had to play keyboard for church, I had to play bass guitar for church. So it was something I was born into. So there was not really a place for choice. I couldn't really say that this was something I really wanted to do until I was 18, there about 17, 18, and I joined YWAP. And I started to see arts for what it was. I started to see the impact that you could make with creating musical general creations as relates to art. And it started to make more sense to me because I started to see myself in it. I started to see like a future in it. So I would say somewhere around 2012. I can't tell exactly how old I was then, but 2011, 2012 was when this whole thing became a little more serious to me because at that point I was able to define what it is I wanted out of this and how far I thought I'll go with this.
Okay, so is there a spiritual tone to this definition? Because sometimes people say, "Oh, I was sleeping and I saw Jesus Christ and he touched my vocal cords and I knew that this was for me." Is there any spiritual intonation to that, or it was just you sitting down and mentally figuring things out?
Okay. It was spiritual, but it may not sound
Spectacular.
spectacular to some people. But that I attended the concert that introduced me to YWAP. That concert was my own mountain
Defining
experience
moment.
or spiritual because I remember seeing All Night Rap that day and immediately I set my eyes on him. It was as though it was a very spiritual thing. I'm trying to make it sound natural now, but it was really spiritual.
No,
to me.
please. Just let it be.
Immediately I saw him, it was as though we switched positions. So it's like I saw myself where he was standing, and that was I think that was the very first time a performance felt like an opportunity to change the world. Yeah, so I think that's the best way to say it.
Wow, and that goes to talk about your song "Change the World."
Yes.
Yeah, I can
I
do
did a
something
whole
for my
EP.
generation. An
Yeah.
entire EP. Yeah, actually,
Exactly.
such a beautiful song. This is really amazing. I really love to, because sometimes I feel like people are not sure if something is a calling. I don't know if you can tell us about that just a little before we move on to the next
Alright.
thing. Sometimes people are not able to differentiate their passion. I mean, what they are easily inclined to from their calling. So, would you say that your passion is same as your calling?
All right. I think this is a whole gist, but just to say something about it, I think that you can be passionate about a lot of things,
Okay.
and I personally do not believe that you cannot be passionate about one thing. I don't think so. I don't think so because we are motivated generally as human beings, and you
Sure.
are evolving. So you'll be finding out about yourself as you progress. But I feel like your calling is just one, and maybe everything you have to do in terms of your passion will align with just that one calling. Okay, so and it's a broad. When you say calling, it's a
Yeah.
very broad word. So it can be like when you use the word calling, it's more of everything you are here to do encapsulated in one vision statement, something like that.
okay.
Yeah. So, but I would say that the easiest way to find out what it is that you might have been brought to this world to do would be to pay a little closer attention to what your interests are, because like a wise man said, you do not choose your interests, you just walk through life and find out that you are really interested in something.
Exactly.
And on a natural plane, this is the easiest way to know that thing that may just be that thing for you.
This is super inspiring. I am hanging out with one of Benue and Nigeria's and the world's finest day tree. Yeah, the POD, the point of difference, and we've been having an amazing time. I'm trying to contain myself because it's such a delightful journey so far. We go on the break. When we come back, we'll talk about his unique style of music. Don't go away.
Gospel Live on Bainma Television.
Yeah, yeah. Be like waiting, I carry the carry weight. Yeah, yeah. Even Maria carry no fi carry waiting, I carry yeah.
Seduced by the glitz and glamour.
Yeah. Be like waiting, I carry the carry weight. See as opposition just the sabi in place. Look at me, my face no resemble waiting, I don't face. Ain't no shadow, you will light up, you will scatter the place. If I lay my bed in the belly of hell, you will enter the place. Go harder till you set me ablaze. Like corn, yes, I stand amazed. Yeah, you can't debate, this grace candidate is up to date. God didn't mind waiting you they expect. God didn't mind love when they extend. God made a man that made the weapon, so the weapon man don't start to the suspect. Say they don't know, they don't know. Say the arm of the flesh, it don't bruise. Every weapon we tell of fashion against me, suppose don't lose. You get waiting I carry for my head, though. You get waiting I carry for my head. You get waiting I carry for my head. Yeah. I feel like it must be heavenly, cause me myself I just they envy me. You get waiting I carry for my head. You get waiting I carry for my head, though. You get waiting I carry for my head. You get waiting I carry for my head. I feel like it must be heavenly, cause me myself I just they envy me. You get waiting I carry for my head.
Gospel Live on Bainma Television.
Alright, you're welcome back from that break. We are still live and Gospel Live on Benway Television, and I am hanging out with Daytree.
What's up?
Yep, Daytree. There is something about your music. I was very quite careful when I was talking about the fact that I feel like people cannot figure you out. So
Hope that's a good thing.
it's a beautiful thing. I mean, that is uniqueness.
Right.
It's actually absolutely amazing.
I like to agree, yeah.
It is really beautiful, honestly. Nothing negative about that. So there's like an Afro side to you. There's a little R&B side to you, I think. Then there's the rap side of you, which was the first thing that we thought you were, then there's the spoken word side to you. So sometimes it's like, who is this guy? Is he a spoken word artist? Is he a rapper? Is he Afrobeat? You know? So can you tell us about that? How did you come about being such a unique artist and being bold about it?
All right. I think I'll start from the end of this question about being bold about it. So I think it's more organic than the mechanical thing, especially because of my journey. Like I said when we started out here, I used to be an instrumentalist, a core instrumentalist.
What were you playing? You said keyboard.
I played the keyboard, I played the drums, I played the bass guitar. But I'm
Do you still play any of those now?
Yeah, I'm basic now. I'm not
Yeah,
as
that
good as I used to be. But you see, there was a season of my life where I was a core instrumentalist. There was now another season of my life where I was singing in the choir, bro. Like I'm wearing tie, I'm singing in front of in the hundreds of people.
And you're not covering the mouth of the mic like
You get what I'm
rappers do.
saying?
You're
Yeah.
doing the mic like legit.
But